All right, for more on Nvidia, let's bring in Susquehanna senior analyst Chris Rolland. Chris, great to have you with us. What's your take on the quarter, and what's your take on that $11 billion Blackwell revenue number?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. 11 billion for Blackwell. We were thinking it was going to be 5 or 6. So this is a very healthy, good number. We were worried about the April quarter as it's kind of this hole in revenue between Hopper and GB200. So we think this is a fine result.
What are you looking for on the conference call, Chris? What's going to be your first question if you had that first question?
If I have that first question, it's going to be around GB200, whether system developers are ready to go, and when can we really ramp this product?
Chris, cut to the chase on the hyperscaler, CapEx intensity. Where are you on this?
Yeah, well, CapEx is going up. We were thinking growth was about 20% across those hyperscalers you talked about going into the quarter. Coming out of the quarter, it looks like it's more like 30% year over year. So this number is going up on the back of AI.
Real quick, Chris, given the beat in Blackwell, and as Mel said earlier, the higher margin chip theoretically, wouldn't you expect to see margins hang in there or actually be better than expected, or am I way off base? So you can tell me I am, because that's typically the case.
Yeah, you're not off base, but
you usually are.
The company has very well telegraphed and communicated that gross margins during this Blackwell ramp were going to be low. And so for whatever reason, the street was modeling closer to 73%. That was off. It should have been closer to that 71. So this is exactly as the CFO has in fact telegraphed.
Chris, as you talk to investors, I'm just curious where there is skepticism. We were talking about how this stock has really not done too much over the past 9 months. Is there skepticism around the forecasts of hyperscalers that they're actually going to stick with those raised guidance numbers throughout the year? I mean, where does sort of the question marks, where do they focus on?
Yeah, I think there was some turbulence around DeepSeek. We're still trying to figure out efficiencies that came from that model and whether it decreases total spend or not. I think that's of less concern now, certainly than it was a month ago. But really, people want to know timing around GB200. This is supposed to be the big product, not B200. It's GB200, racks of 72 GPUs, and it seems like, these are coming a little bit later. Are there still problems? Are there still problems with liquid cooling? There's a lot of stuff that are going to come into these complicated systems, and are they ready to go in time? And if not, is there a small hole in revenue in between? And so that, I think, is probably the biggest concern for investors right now.
So where do you want to see that launch, Chris, in the year?
So I want to see it coming after the April quarter, so their July quarter, and I want to see it in earnest.